Good afternoon, it's Brett here, Lionheart 84, it's the 6th of June. I just thought I'd do a quick update on my Japanese Loquat that I was forced to transplant into my parents' garden that obviously has been suffering in the last few months a fair amount of transplant shock. I just thought I'd give a quick update on it. It's not looking brilliant, but it's not looking terrible either. It's lost an awful lot of leaves, which have obviously gone yellow or brown and dropped off underneath the plant. And there's a fair number of stems, probably not easy to see, but there's quite a fair number of stems that have died back quite heavily on it. Or it's not focusing very well, but interestingly, there are some new leaves coming out. Now, normally in this country, loquats tend to burst into growth in about March or April, so I wouldn't really expect them to be coming out this late. However, the fact there's new growth suggests that the roots may be recovering and that we may not lose the plants. But of greater interest to me is, amazingly, it seems to have, and I don't know if I can show them, it's got about half a dozen fruit on it. I can move around and show them. It's got about half a dozen fruit on it that haven't dropped off. There's another one, if I can get close to it, there's another one up there as well. If I walk round slowly and try not to make everybody dizzy. See if I can get round to this side. There's one there, one up there, one there. I think there's about a dozen fruit on it. Now I'm really quite surprised, because I would have expected, with the shock of the transplant and all the leaf loss, I would have expected all those fruits to have dropped off, but they still seem to be holding on the tree, so I'm wondering if there's a possibility that some of them might actually reach maturity. Now, I'm sure most people know with loquats, but they have a very bizarre habit when it comes to flowering and the time of year they flower. They normally come into flower in late autumn, early winter, which unfortunately in this country means sort of October, November, December, and obviously because they have very cold winters, invariably the flowers are all killed, because they only really survive down to about probably 5 or 6 degrees centigrade, the flowers, and obviously in November, December there's very few bees around to pollinate, and there's also very little chance of the fruit setting, and if they do, there's very little chance of them surviving 3 or 4 months of our winter. This isn't an issue if you happen to live in a Mediterranean climate, or perhaps one of the southern states in America such as California or Florida, because obviously the winters there are so mild that the flowers come out there October, November, December, and because of the mild winters the fruits continue to grow all winter. And if you look at videos that I've been watching from America, they're all picking lovely orange loquats in sort of April, May, June, which have ripened over winter. Here, if the fruits survive, as it looks like this tree might have half a dozen fruits on it that might make it to maturity, obviously here I doubt if the fruits would be ready until August, September, so it's quite a long sort of time development. If you talk about flowers in October and November, and then the fruits not being ready until next August, September, we'll see what happens. There's no point me pulling them off, because there's only half a dozen on the tree and they won't be sapping any energy. And as I said, there does seem to be some new growth coming out. There's some quite healthy fresh leaves there, so I don't think the plant's going to die. I think it's going to recover and survive, but obviously I will look after it through summer and make sure it doesn't suffer from drought. But anyway, thought a few people might be interested to see see how she's getting on after the previous video. It's early in June, so we'll see how the fruits progress, if they all drop off. If any get to an edible size and turn orange, obviously I'll do a short video on that. Thanks for watching. About time for me to go home now from work. Catch up with everybody soon. Please, by all means, click like, share if you wish to, subscribe, and if you want to get future updates, then hit the bell. Thanks again. Brett out now.